Okay, so let's have example number 2 for this video. Okay, so graph the equation of the quantity of x minus 1 squared equals negative 8 times the quantity of y plus 2. Okay, so let's go to the whiteboard. Okay, so let's start. So what will be the vertex? Our vertex is our h and k. So h is paired with x. So this is our h equals 1. Now, in our for the k, it's plus 2. Okay, so remember, if it's preceded by a plus sign, this actually means or implies it's minus negative 2. Okay, so in other words, our k is negative 2. Okay, so our vertex, so for our first answer, vertex v, I'll just write v, 1, negative 2. Okay, the next, we can actually identify our p. Okay, so we simply divided by a negative 8 by 4. So negative 8 divided by 4 is actually 2. Negative 2. But again, we're taking the absolute value. So our p is just, the absolute value of p is just 2. Okay, so our focal distance is 2. 3. So what's the axis of symmetry? So the axis of symmetry, so take note, it's y plus 2, that does not contain the square, okay, or it's the least contains the least exponent, which is 1. So the axis of symmetry, I just put a s, okay, so the axis of symmetry is it's vertical. Okay, so it's vertical. So why is it vertical? Because it's y. Okay, and if it's vertical, it passes through x. Hence, the equation is actually x, and whatever is the pair of x is h. So x equals 1. Next, let's have the direction or the opening. Okay, so I'll write opening here for more clearer answer. So where does it open? Okay, so take note that the constant here contains the negative sign here, negative 8. So if it's negative, it's either left or downwards. However, our AS, our axis of symmetry, is vertical. So it is downwards. Okay, so this is opening down or downwards. Next, if we have the opening, we can now determine the focus. So let's put 5 here, the focus. Okay, so how do you find the focus? So it's downwards means it's minus. Okay, and since it's downwards, we are actually moving in the vertical part. Okay, so we are going to subtract our vertex again. It's from the vertex, so minus p minus 2. So we have v of, what's that, 1? 1. Sorry, it's negative 2. So 1, negative 2. And where do we subtract our p? We're going to subtract our p in the vertical value, which is negative 2. So negative 2 minus 2, yes, it's negative 4. So this will give us f 1, negative 4. So we have now our focus. Okay, so next, let's have the directrix. So the directrix is again perpendicular to our axis of symmetry. So if it's vertical, the directrix is horizontal. Okay, so I'll just write here horizontal. Horizontal. Okay, so I hope you understand my handwriting. Okay, so let's just put a barrier here. Okay, so if it's horizontal, it means that our equation, the line passes through y. Again, if it's horizontal, it passes through y. So y equals, what is our k? K is -2. So -2. Okay, so now, if the focus is minus, the directrix is plus. Okay, so -2 plus whatever is your p. P is 2. So this will give us y equals 0. Okay, so the equation of our directrix is y equals 0. And lastly, we need the latus rectum. Where shall I put the latus rectum? Okay, so let's just try to write here 7. Sorry, 7. So our LR, the length of the latus rectum, it's just, so again, it's -8. It's the length. So absolute value LR is 8. So in terms of the endpoints of the latus rectum, E1. So E1, we go to the focus. So now, I know. Let's just go directly to the graph. Okay. Okay, so let's try. So first, let's try to graph our, have a sketch, a rough sketch of our graph. So V is 1, -2. So 1, -2, 1, 2. It's here. Okay, sorry. Let's have this. So it's here. Okay, somewhere here. So this is V. Okay, that's V. The next, let's have focus. So focus is 1, -4. So it's 1, -4, 1, -4. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's correct ba? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's here. Actually, it's, so this is our focus. Somewhere here is our focus. Okay, then our horizontal, not horizontal, but axis of symmetry, it's vertical. So it's actually x equals 1. So x equals 1 is here. So, sorry, line. So it's somewhere here. Okay, then our directrix is y equals 0. So where is y equals 0? It's actually here. Y equals 0. In fact, y equals 0 is our x-axis. Okay, so let's make it yellow. Yellow. So the directrix is actually the y-axis. Okay, then our length of the lattice rectum is 8. So we know that our let's have another color. Let's have blue. Our lattice rectum is in this area here. Okay, it passes through F. So the movement is horizontal. Okay, so if it's horizontal and we base on the focus, we will add on the horizontal part of the focus, which is 1. Okay, so by how much? Again, it's plus minus 2. Plus minus 2. Plus minus 2. Sorry, plus minus 2p. Okay, so there's still p. So what is our p? P is 2. So plus minus 2 times 2, we have 4. So plus minus 4. So we're going to add plus or subtract. Sorry, we're going to add or subtract 4 to our 1 in the focus. So for our E1 and point 1, we will have 1 plus 4, 5. So we have 5, -4. And our E2, we have, okay, we have minus 4. 1 minus 4 is -3, -4. Okay, so -4. So let's try to point this out. Where is 5, -4? So 5, -4. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 5 here. The -4 is actually here. Okay, so this is 5, -4. This is E1. And E2 is -3, 4. So -3, 4. So 1, 2, 3. So -3 is here. Then 4 is here. Okay, so this is E2. Hence, we can actually have a sketch graph, a rough graph of our parabola. So this is the rough graph of the parabola. Okay, so let's check in our graphing calculator. How will it look like? Using our graphing calculator, sorry, this mouse. So let's just type x minus 1 raised to the power of 2 equals negative 8 times y plus 2. Okay, I'll see. It's actually the same, but this is much more accurate compared to our rough sketch or rough graph. Okay, so let's verify. Our v is 1, negative 2. Sorry, don't put p. So just, yeah, so that's our vertex. Our what do you call this? Our focus. Our focus is 1, negative 4. Okay, so let's try to type 1, negative 4. So 1, negative 4. Okay, so that's the violet one is our focus. And how about our vertical, our axis of symmetry, x equals 1. Okay, so that is our axis of symmetry. Our horizontal directrix is y equals 0. Okay, so that is our directrix, the red one. Then our endpoints, let's have E. Sorry, don't put the letters. Okay, so we have, what's the endpoints again? 5, negative 4, and negative 3, negative 4. 5, negative 4, and negative 4. Negative 4. Am I sure? What's that? Negative 3, negative 4. Negative 3 and negative 4 endpoints of our Lattice Rectum. Okay, so see, it's actually here. Okay, so our computation is correct. Okay, so even if we don't have the graphing calculator, we know how the parabola looks like. And that's it for lesson 3. We're done with lesson 3. I hope that you learned a lot, especially about parabolas. I hope that you learned how to solve, compute, and graph a parabola. See you soon in the next videos and study well. Bye-bye.